สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะค่ะสวัสดีค่ะสวัสดีค่ะพี่จอยค่ะ
ค่ะสวัสดีทุกคนก็วันนี้มาเจอกันอีกครั้งนะคะกับวันเสาร์ตอนเช้าช่วง 10 โมงถึงเที่ยงนะคะในเวลาประเทศไทยก็เรามาเจอกันกับทอล์กสบายๆนะคะในหัวข้อของASA 4 Nations นะคะเป็นออนไลน์เลคเชอร์เป็นออนไลน์ทอล์กเรียกว่าออนไลน์ทอล์กดีกว่าที่เราจะชวนเชิญสถาปนิกจาก4ประเทศนะคะก็4องค์กรมาร่วมมาพูดคุยกันแลกเปลี่ยนประสบการณ์แล้วก็วิธีการทำงานเหมือนแลกเปลี่ยนประสบการณ์วิธีการทำงาน process ของการทำงานแล้วก็ปัญหาหรือไม่ก็สิ่งที่พบเจอในการประกอบวิชาชีพสถาปัตยกรรมของแต่ละประเทศนะคะก็ซึ่งวันนี้ก็สมาคมสถาปนิกสยามในพระบรมราชูปถัมภ์นะคะก็เป็นคนจัดทอล์กนี้ขึ้นมาก็วันนี้ก็ดำเนินรายการเนาะ
เป็นครั้งที่2แล้วค่ะ
ใช่ครั้งนี้เป็นครั้งที่2ก็คือเราจริงๆเรามีทั้งหมด4ครั้ง3ครั้งเนี่ยเราจะจัดเป็นออนไลน์ทอล์กนะคะก็เชิญ4ท่านจาก4ประเทศมาแล้วก็ครั้งสุดท้ายเนี่ยก็จะเป็นการจัดที่ในงานสถาปนิกนะคะก็ปลายเดือนเมษายนนะคะก็ที่ถึง
ก็ดำเนินรายการค่ะ
ดำเนินรายการโดยคุณโมนะคะ
ก็มีโมนะคะอาจารย์ดร.สลินพินิจนะคะตอนนี้สอนอยู่ที่คณะสถาปัตยกรรมศาสตร์จุฬาลงกรณ์มหาวิทยาลัยค่ะแล้วก็พี่จอย
แล้วก็จอยนะคะศศิชนวลีสาวนีค่ะก็Principal Architects นะคะของบริษัทสิน Architects ค่ะก็อย่างจริงๆวันนี้เราสปีกเกอร์ของเราเป็นทั้งคนไทยแล้วก็คนต่างชาตินะคะเราก็จะมีการใช้ภาษาไทยสลับกับภาษาอังกฤษปนกันนะคะก็เดี๋ยวไม่ให้ใช้เวลายืดยาวนะเดี๋ยวจอยขอเริ่มดำเนินรายการต่อเป็นภาษาอังกฤษเลยหรือกันนะคะก็เริ่มเลยเนาะI just continue from the previous that I introduced about how is the today talk that we call the ASA 4 Nations is the online series of talk that we're gonna have 4 group of people from 4 countries coming to the experience. Yeah, talking about the 4 nations, what is the 4 nation group?
The 4 nation groups is an informal alliance between the professional architectural institutes of 4 different countries, including Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia, who meet or convene regularly and have the collaboration closely on the aspect of the practice in the education related to architecture.
Yeah, and today talk is organized by 4 association of the architecture from 4 countries in Southeast Asia, which is include the Association of Siamese Architects, Singapapore Institute of Architects, Pertubuhan Akitek Malaysia, and the last one is Ikatan Arsitek Indonesia. And today we're gonna have 4 speakers from Thai, Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia. And before we start talking in the talk, I just quickly have a look about how's their company website. And I found that today what we're gonna miss is quite various type of the speaker. I mean, in terms of the design thinking process about their services, and also about the design characteristic, which that I think what we're gonna meet today, this thing will lead us to know about how they work and how the differentiates of the design thinking process for each of the company and each of the country. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
and even at the end of each session or at the very end, you all the audiences, everyone can also ask them the questions. You can also type in the chat box via the channels that you watched, and we will read your question, and all the speakers will answer.
okay. So
Okay.
how is our four speaker? น้องโม can I let น้องโม go introduce our four
Okay, I will. Okay, for the four speakers, the first one from Thailand is Kun Thongchad Chinasi from Hook Architects Company in Thailand. And the second one is Miss Dhanie Syawalia from the company named Dhanie and Sal from Indonesia. And the third one is Mr. Iskandar Idris from Super Assembly Company from Singapore. And the fourth one, Mr. Fabian Tan from Fabian Tan Architect from Malaysia. Yeah, there are four that we will stay together today.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Good
See you
morning.
again.
See you.
Yeah.
Morning.
Kun Mo quickly introduce how of us already, but I just want to know more quickly about each of you. Maybe พี่ธงชาติครับอยากรู้จากพี่มากขึ้นว่าบริษัททำอะไรเป็นยังไงมั่งช่วยแนะนำตัวหน่อยได้ไหมคะ
Okay, thank you, Kun Joy. My name is Thongchad Chinasi. I'm managing director of Hook Architect. For Hook Architect, formally we are the designer, but last 7 years have been 7 years that we didn't design the architecture anymore. We are the BIM manager, the BIM management firm for Thailand. And for today, I think I will introduction in 2 points. First point is my firm, how to manage business about BIM, business about BIM in the design and the construction industry. Maybe we talk wider. We didn't talk about the design only. We talk about the construction industry. It's more wider ecosystem and how to collect information to manage the business. This is for my today, and I think it may be beneficial for the audience. Sometimes
It's actually like the tool and the method how to support architects, how to support the architectural works. Yeah.
Yes, it's about process.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is for the hook. And how about
Dhanie and Sal?
The Dhanie.
Could you please introduce?
Hello, good morning. My name is Dhanie from Dhanie and Sal, Indonesia. Dhanie and Sal is an architecture design studio started by me and my partner Salman in 2019. Our practice on being in present on every design on every project. So, yeah. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, thank you.
May I know, because I have seen your work, CEO of the company, Dhanie Excel.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, maybe ask more. I just ask about how many years you established the company.
We started in 2019, and maybe it's almost 6 years.
Yes, yeah, almost the same withพี่ธงชาติ Architects. Yeah, and the next is the
Mr. Iskandar Idris. Hi,
from Singapore.
Hi.
Singapore. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Iskandar Idris from Super Assembly. I think Super Assembly is pretty much also about 7 years. I think 7 coming to 8 probably this year. So we are pretty much a small team consisting of about 10 people as a team, and we have started kind of doing private residential houses, where right now I think we are trying to kind of expand. But I think for today I'll share some of 3 projects from our residential projects, which I think, because at the end of the day, I think the residential projects are kind of our favorite projects, and it's also kind of a test bed that we always try to kind of investigate certain architectural spatial qualities, and then we kind of So I'll probably be sharing 3 projects of ours today. Yeah.
All right, yeah, waiting to see about the presentation for the next. Yeah, and the last one is Fabian.
Mr. Fabian. Fabian Tan.
Hi guys. Hi, I'm Fabian Tan. I'm from Fabian Tan Architects, or short form for FTA. We are an architectural firm in Kuala Lumpur specializing in residential designs. So today I'll be presenting some of my works and just to give you some idea behind the works behind our firm. So
Yeah. Okay. I think we actually ready to listen about the prepares of the speak for each one. I will let P. Thongchad, since we are the host, to start about the talk and telling about the project and the company services. Yeah. P. Thongchad can start ได้เลยค่ะ
Okay.
Okay ค่ะ ขอบคุณค่ะ
Okay, thank you for sharing slide for me. Special presentation today, Thongchad from ASA, Thailand. Yeah. Sorry for the first thing that I'm wear the suit like a running because we just finished the running, the long run in the morning. Okay, but for today, my agenda is to introduce you about the Hook Architect and BIM Management Company, aspiration, vision, and mission. And for each year of the information that we collect and different between architect and BIM manager. And I will walk through the business about the BIM and standard document control, something that make the firm eat the firm. So let's go to the morning that I just finished. So usually we running. This is our president, the president of the ASA Associate now. Yeah, we just finished in the morning, and it's honor to add the photo of them today because I think the running the
What
live.
time was that? You still have time come back. What time was that?
9 o'clock. I just for preparation this. So come back to my point. I would like to introduce that our architect life is the long span. That for us, we are the young generation of the architect. So I think it's same with the running, the marathon. Yeah, all of us is a marathon runner. So and the architect also, it's the same thing. We have to plan, we have to manage, we have to control. Yeah, to go to the finishing point or something like that. But usually in Thailand, architect like to run. My team is like to run. Yeah, because sometimes we think something and have the idea from running. Yeah. Very much, and that make myself Saturday is my good day in the most good day in the week. So come back to my firm. For my firm, I have the aim to change the construction industry better by the digital. Yes, first of that, I am the architect, professional architect license in Thailand since 10 years, maybe 11 years. So I just had been 8 years. I taught the digital way, and the BIM is a building information modeling method, is an approach of the digital in Thai. So it underdeveloped, but I know that some of country in the Southeast Asia like Singapore and Indonesia maybe have developed something. Malaysia also. So in Thailand it's same. I envision my company first about the tomorrow is built together. Is we move the tomorrow to build today in the computer first, and then make it clear with all discipline, all party that work together. So that have to have the useful and universal information and summarize, and some of information can be forecast the next further future, and information have to suit the customer need and solve the customer problem. This is our vision and mission. So this is my team. It's maybe a little bit team. little team, around 20 people. But the various of type of people in here is almost 80% is architect. It's the architect, but the architect that moved to work in the BIM scope. And we have around 4 guys for the software development, the programmer that make our office have architect and programmer sit together and work. I think this is the new generation for the composition of the people in the office. Sometimes the architect, when you design, you have to have some script or code that make the design better or faster. The programmer can help. This is my team. I don't call the team, I call teamwork. And our service have 3 services. I have the BIM management. For BIM management is like a BIM manager who manage the BIM process in the project. We focusing in the bigger project and the big project in Thai. And almost maybe the highlights building is the most. And the BIM production. And the third is software development. I name it the team is Miracle. Miracle is make happen. The create way. I didn't have much create way for create my office or create idea into the project. But this is the first thing that I do. Name it the department Miracle Builder or Goodwill or something. Name to them. And they didn't use the real name of the service. They used the name of the team when they call each other. Okay. And sometimes in each department we have some philosophy or something that make the team can be live longer. But the teamwork spirit actually or something is like a basic thing of the architect, right? Of the architect. But we may have some activity that it will come back to here. I will show you some of the analyze. But most of them is about the technology. About the consultant of the technology in the construction industry. We have to have action lead, we have to have activity communication, we have to have friendly atmosphere for all level of management or something. So usually we work in the portion of the highlights building. For highlight building in Thailand, it's about the cost of the building. So it will effective when we use BIM in the complexity building. So most of my work in Asia is about the highlights building. Okay. And some of our main customer is the real estate developer in Thai. Okay. So our life is the daily routine of us is to combine all of disciplinary model into one place. We have the engineer, we have the architect. I am the BIM manager for now. I'm not the architect for this portion. We are the consultant that combine all of model from architect model, circular model, and MEP model, and another designer model like a landscape and interior into the one place. And then we check. You may know this word, the crash detection. Check the crash between the element of the building, like piping and the beam or something. Selling, we can move the issue from the construction phase, to the design phase and eliminate them before we work. We see the real problem, right? Because when the concrete is hard, when the concrete is set, that so we cannot solution something. We can only destroy it. But we can destroy it in the computer. Destroy it 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times in the computer. We can destroy it. We can save and we can undo. We can do anything in the computer. So why our vision is make tomorrow to build today. Make tomorrow to build today, and together with every party. This is our vision. So you may see our work is like look quite to be like engineer, but we are the middleman who combine all people. Same time. Sometimes you will see some of the equipment in Thailand likely to have the automatic parking in now because the cost of the land or something is but in Singapore maybe it's a norm, right? But for Thailand we have to crash check before we installation the part of the mechanical system and maintain the clear height of the regulation. So this is our main work in terms of everyday single routine. Sometimes we go deep in the construction. Some of our construction, like engineering design, they design the portion, the some kind of the circular floor, and some of our value client, they didn't want they sell the condominium and didn't want like we have many off floor, right, many off level, right, and above floor is the pipe is broken down. They don't want anyone to go under floor and then
underneath of the area. Right?
So that's why they make the pipe embed in the floor. The pipe embed in the floor to make it can be like don't go to under floor to maintenance something. So we have to crash check it about the reinforcement of the concrete, about the potential lock something with the pipe. And then we do like that. Adapt the design or the need of the customer. To make a technology plug in it. And make it effective. It may be talk in another way. Like my main work is to pull the effect, to pull the efficiency of the BIM in the project more. Like the designer have the model, any designer have model, but we are the one that make the BIM have more value.
So you get all the information from another party into one place to see and to check about the possibility and the problem if there's something change. So that will be effect to another party. And can this be calculate about the cost or about the budget when there is some change?
Yes. We can compare. Some of building that I work, maybe 3 years ago, we know from the first day, that we will use the concrete allow 20,000 ton something. We know from that, and we inspect and observe when the model change is the concrete volume is reduced or not. So when we know the concrete volume, we can know about the carbon or something that the trend for now. We can know the cost. Maybe the owner can know all of the number of the door, the number of square meter of the door. So they can make a deal first, that like a direct purchase and make a negotiation with the third party. So it's the owner more
easy for them to make a decision with the information.
Designer they send us the model, they send us the graphic information, like a SketchUp that we know that the graphic information. But for BIM, they didn't send only the graphic information, they send the information to us also. So it's not the data it's not the data, the difference from the data and the information is totally different. The data is not unstructured, it's unstructured, but when we summarize, when we make a good question to the data, so we got the summarize to like all of data have the purpose. Video about that, video about the data, and it's about the systematic of the model and the system that related to the system of the building. Every shaft in the building we have to combine that, make clear that the shaft have the area enough for the pipe within, because it can be affect to the area that owner sell to the real owner already. Sometimes the shaft is bigger and then the room area is not in the commit, right? So now we have to check it to make this list eliminated before it go to construct. We don't want to broke the building after we see the problem, So this is eliminate the list and enhance the quality to the building, because the building, good building.
Are these done by your team, which is the architects and the programmer? Right?
The architect mostly is an architect, but programmer will help you when you have to check this 400 times, you know.
Mm-hmm. What I ask is about, don't you have the engineering, I mean M&E or other to
They are in our team. We have the MEP engineer in our team. Yeah.
Because I think if only architects can do this, there will be super architects.
Yes, mostly all our BIM manager can do this without engineer. Yeah, because the knowledge and the knowledge in every meeting. Yeah, I will show you about the I can say it the fly out of our BIM manager. Yeah, all our BIM manager is come from the architect. So it's a little bit related. Yeah, because the architect, you know, my friend also, some person, my friend in same class, they didn't be the architect for now, you know. Sometimes photographer, sometimes sell the coffee. But I think if we learn the art, we learn the science, like an architect, we can do everything after we graduate.
Mm-hmm. We can be an actress or actor as well.
Yeah, as well if you have. Okay, but come back to our point. This previous slide is the 3D coordination. 3D may be near by yourself, right? Because the model is a combination of all disciplines. We can imagine that. But 3D is something like basic for us. I will add 1D for this. It is a 4D simulation. Something like called about the timing, the timeline of the project when you construction. So we have the model in pre-construction, right? This new building is in the constructing with the two contractor, in the mega project in Thai. So I can give it the name because this is the public, the Forestiers. So this is the last two building of the Forestier will be finished within this year or this 1.5 year. So the contractor, they have to control the time, right? Construction manager also, they plan in the digital. They receive the model from the designer and use the model to merge with the timeline and plan it in the digital first. Yeah, they have to compete to contractor, right? To have to build the building, to control the time in the real world and the digital world also. They fight together. But this way can make them know the sequence, of the construction. We call it simulate. When you plan the construction timeline, you plan in the Microsoft project, and it's like a 2D flat, right? But this is a 3D and merged with the timeline, so we can check the PCAS of the third floor, why it happened, because we not have the floor in the third floor yet, right? It's something like this. It's about the sequence. And it makes the owner of the project can be more limitation because they can choose the third or the sixth, the fourth or the fifth party to involve, because we can combine all of the plan of every single party in the same. So when we have the good plan, we have the good construction. So it related, because when we don't have the good plan, but if you have the good contractor, it's not enough, right? You have to have all of things good to make a good building. Okay, this is a 4D. So the 4D is something like sometimes we can merge the cost of the project into but I blur it. The cost of the project into each payment of the milestone. To check also what the money that we have to pay, what the money that we have to prepare, what the money we paid. This is a BIM can help, and the architect do something like this. Some of my friends, the architect also, they go to be the construction manager. They do some project like this. Architect going to be like more and wider in every day, and in Thailand also. Yeah, sometimes I go to the site. I see it in overhead of myself. Yeah, it's like a model that we saw in yesterday. We built it today, but we saw the tomorrow already. Tomorrow already, and then wow, it have to be here. It have to be here. It have to be here. Everything is planned like a master plan. Yeah, sometimes we like a deja vu something, right? But deja vu is look quite a dream, but we not dream. Our dream is can be touched, can be together with everyone. Architect can do this, with the people. And what the after of the BIM? What the after of the BIM? Everyone use BIM. In my career, everyone want to use BIM. And in another country, it maybe have things like asset information model. Asset, it's about the asset. It's collect all of the data of we build, like as build. But the as build is not like a drawing that contractor hand over to you when the building finished. It's about the digital in the platform, and we can access every time. Yeah, when the machine is broken down, you will see the telephone number of the sales person in there or PO number. It makes you easy to hello, we have to pick it or something. You can, life is easier, but the life will be easier. It's about you plan and manage and control the information in the same place and structure it. Yeah, the BIM is some approach. For today, I call the BIM is process. Process is something like, process. It has to be 1, 2, 3 steps, something. It has to be step. We have to manage everything into the step. It may be not likely to the design, to do something like this, but architect can do. Architect can wider span to another scale of the building also. So if we know about the building is have various type of the building. Sometimes the factory, sometimes it's like the huge area of storage building something. Some of building that very complexity that I found and worked with in my life is a central utility plan. Central utility plan will this is the public information also. Central utility plan of the forestier will distribute the chilling water, the chill water to every pot that make us not have the condensing unit in every unit. Not have condensing unit of air conditioning system. That they will exchange the chill water. This building is the core of this concept. And every single floor of this building is have the complex of machinery, the huge water tank.
You use the BIM to find the solution for this problem.
To find the problem, it may be backward. To find the problem first, to solve the problem, and make this building when the installation of machine, it have enough area for service. It have enough area for installation. It's something like this. Yeah, I think they very satisfied about the process can help them to simulate the future and let them make more choice to decision. For my BIM, it's gone now. So after this will be the part of information to manage my office. In my office, I collect all of information of my staff. The timesheet, the basic timesheet, but we have the platform to collect the information. This is my BIM manager, and this is the activity of my team. Yes, this is 8 years of the data collection. This is the activity of them. It have in the life, in the daily life, in the weekly life. So we will analyze for that. I set the year of no one leave. The year of no one leave. We are all the entrepreneur of of every firm, right? So now the good thing of the firm is people stay with you, people that you train them, people that you treat them, people that work with you, stay with you. The team will be stronger and like a pyramid, right? It will be stronger. I said the year of no one leave because of my data correction. I think the low employee turnover is maybe the positive work environment. Oh, this is my workplace. Yeah, but I didn't design. I hired my friend that architect to design my workplace because I don't want to do something.
Did you use BIM together with the design?
I don't touch them. But we design about the structure and the MEP. We architect design the structure and MEP for the building. Yes, but I don't touch them. Don't for them to use them. But we get idea about design from them and simulate the model by ourselves because we have the BIM production in our office. So coming to our point, the good thing is to have the work environment. We set it and opportunity to grow and fair comparison. We do something like this with the data and healthy life. So I said the business first. When we have to pull everyone, the designer, the contractor, the construction manager in the same, this is our point. The orange is sweet spot. So have to focus to our activity first. This is our activity in my office in 3 departments. The BIM production will do the BIM production and then meeting and then be coordination or something. It's the last portion, right? And the BIM management is to do the meeting, much of the meeting in every day. So they have to have some workplace that quiet enough because now we almost 100% video conference. And the software development is developed and meeting sometimes. So we have to match them. And I got the information, 8 years. So I can analyze to be like a seasonal. Seasonal is something like the hotel chain or something that some of travel in Thailand that high season and low season, right? In my office, have seasonal also. So the high season, will come after April. Our office will meeting a lot, We're meeting a lot out there, like a 600 out in the May and June in this year. It's seasonal. This average seasonal. So what I have to do? So firstly, I go to my press and the medicine in my press. We have the medicine cabinet in my press to set them to don't sick. I collect the information in my office. The one reason is the stomach. It's about the stomach. They have to have some carbon in the cabinet. We do like that. And if the activity of the meeting is huge, we analyze again time that's comfortable for the meeting. I got 2 hours is the most time that we spend for the meeting. So in our office, don't meeting more than 2 hours. More than 2 hours.
Expect to do that. 2 hours is proper. It's already the longest.
Yes.
It's long enough for the meeting.
Long enough.
That won't be healthy.
And I cut it down. Okay, you cut it to 1 and 50 minutes. 1 hour and 50 minutes because you have to prepare. So the meeting have to start 1 p.m. You start at 1 p.m. point 5 minutes, and then you set the meeting finish 1 p.m. 2 p.m. point 55 minutes. Something is maybe have 5 minutes to go to the toilet or something. It's something like this. And it's everybody have a seasonal in my office. Sometimes they don't have the job. I will select some month to let them to go to the company trip. It will happen in this April, because the activity drop and have the holiday in Thailand, Songkran Day. The activity of my office is about the project also. The low light and highlight. What is intentional in the office have to use in the highlight, have to use in low light. So that maybe I want to take a project in low life more than highlights, because it's finished and finished. It's no longer take time and make a benefit more. And our team have a ISO 19650 to control all of document. I create a platform and we have the dev, we create a platform to check all of the document according to our standard that we choose. Yeah, in every day in my architect life, I want to conclusion. In every day of my architect life is about to design the process according to the work. It's not about it's not about to design some product or some building. Yeah, it's about design the process to our
And
work
planning.
and plan it. Yes.
Yeah, not only about the aesthetic
Yes,
part,
not only about aesthetic.
but the collaboration of the information and help architects and other parties to plan about the overall project.
Yes, and I can say that I really lucky man that graduate from architectural faculty because it make us can see another view that no people can see, and another cannot see. Architect have the viewpoint, and have logic, some logic that can adapt everything to the solution.
If you don't say that you are an architect and all of this have done by architect, I will think more than 50% is the engineering work.
80% is architect.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you ค่ะ ขอบคุณค่ะ Okay, and everyone has some more questions to go now.
I think it's
On the speaker, or you guys can also give some questions too before we go to the next session.
But I think this already quite clear enough about what the Hooks architects have done and what the practice that they are doing. And maybe we go to the second one. Who is the second?
Second one is Dhanie Syawalia from Dhanie and Charles.
Yeah, I think we back to
stage.
about the design part, about an aesthetic part. Yeah, let Dhanie. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. Hello, good morning. First of all, thank you for the opportunity for ASA. Today I will present about maybe 3 of our projects. This is Dhanie and Sal. It's an architecture design studio started by me and my partner Salman in 2019. This is our team is ever growing. We currently have 15 members, consisting of architect, interior designer, and an intern. And this is our old house. We live in a residential complex built by developers, which is pretty common in Indonesia. Unfortunately, most of the time, the architecture and the build quality is not good. It is a small house, but have an extra plot of land at the back of the house. But we opted to do a minimal but significant intervention to the house. All we did is add a single oversized glass pivot door to expand the space and raise the level of the backyard. In our practice, simple and direct decisions like we made in our house matter the most. We prefer a grounded and pragmatic approach for our projects. Our office renovation exemplifies this approach. Located near our house, we manage the project directly with a general contractor. We're communicating directly with the workers. From the start, we aim to respect the surrounding houses, maintaining the skyline of the neighborhood. We don't even change the roof tile. One of our concern was the office privacy. So we use rows of custom-made ventilation blocks to obscure the view from the outside.
So you don't have the fence for the house and office, right?
Yes.
Oh, it's enough safety, I mean, for the security?
Because our house and our office in the secure
It's in the village or?
housing complex.
All right, yeah.
Yes, there's a one gate system in the security gate. And then this is we put a water feature between the screen and the building mass and the upstairs. This gap is also double as a balcony. So our team is sometimes they ask a phone from the client and from the another vendors in this area. And then the initial design of the house had this double high ceiling on the main area. Which we kept and only cast concrete on a half of the area of the floor. This turned to the office into one big interconnected space with the first and the second floor are within a peak of a headway. And then we play with the materials of the meeting room with shelves that are made from precast concrete. All the precast concrete were made by a single form roof, and then we made it to after we already done with the concrete. We made it for another detail to our office, and then by respecting the skyline of the area, the ceiling had to mirror the mirror roof above, allowing the working area to have a higher ceiling. And we try this simple approach, not just in residential, but also other type of project. This is Sawaronsen in Bandung, started as a house in an old residential complex of Ronson Street. And the client asked us to transfer it into a coffee shop. Inspired by the street name, we emulate the X-ray effect using frosted glass brick. We use it and we get from China for the materials.
May I ask
And then
you said it's the material for import material. Why do you choose from China, not in the country?
Because we'll try to find this transparency, and in our country there is no type of this material. We just have a glass block, but I think it's too common in Indonesia to use a glass block. So we try to find another materials, and the clients recommend us to do this vendor.
We don't have this in Indonesia.
Yeah, we don't have this material in Indonesia. Maybe the near materials glass break in near us. Maybe in Singapore it's already have this material, but our client find it cheaper maybe from the China.
All right.
And the tree that existed on the site is kept. So the design is working along with nature and not against it. And then we play with a different level of transparency and different materials. And this acid glass is already had in Indonesia. So this is not import for the glass, but the glass brick we import. And then this is the indoor sitting area above, access from the new steel staircase at the front. And this simple approach also applied on a bigger scale. We transform an existing pavilion hidden in dense suburban area into a garage to showcase a fleet of motorcycles and cars. we choose to maintain the existing structure, avoiding unnecessary demolition, and envelope said structure with steel plates that are cut according to its model to eliminate a waste. And the project rely on the client steelworks without any general contractor. For the workers, construction drawing can be too complicated. So communication was done mainly verbally or through hand sketch to ensure mutual understanding between workers and us. And this is the Maui Girls after we renovation the existing building. And this is steel sheet fins are angled to breathe, to flow in, and with composition of slits and squares as opening. And the first floor acts as a private garage for the client's vehicle collection. Above it is a loft that serves his private office and living quarters. And on the second floor, we cut the building for a panoramic view towards the garden surrounding the garage. And while the steel exterior is rigid and cool, the living space took an entirely different direction while echoing the identical color scheme. And this is maybe the last page from us. This is the Maui at night, and we hope to continue our approach and challenge ourselves on our future projects, be it small or even bigger scale. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the company try to explore a lot about the material to combine with the design, which that create I mean like an illusion or an effect of the building and also with the context. Very interesting. Yeah.
And I also
I think it's quite interesting. I mean, sorry, I was into it.
Sure. Go on.
So I thought that even though it is very simple, the approach, but I thought that the projects kind of have a soul to it somehow. You know, it's like it has that nice, simple soul to it, even though it's very simple approach. Yeah.
Yeah, a very simple structure, but with the exploring of the material, the way you use is very interesting and create very nice effect for the daytime and nighttime, and even for the internal building and outside of the facade. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Really nice.
Yeah, we try. Yeah, maybe we try to solve with simple and pragmatic, but we still keep the timelessness and beauty for each project.
Yeah, especially for the last one, I think the program will be like the factory is more the machine, but with that material and the way you use the ventilation panel. Interesting.
And may I ask another question that normally the architecture in Indonesia, is it common to comply with the natural ventilation or passive design? Is that common, or people are more comfortable with air conditioning room, something like that?
Yeah, maybe because we have the same climate with the Singapore, Thailand, and Malaysia. Yes, of course. We always put good circulation in each project. That's why we made some ventilation second layer for the ventilation, so our client can open wide the opening, but they can still have their privacy. But sometimes at night and still a little bit hot, so we still put aircon on the room, especially for the bedroom, and we put air fan for the main area like living room and dining room to make a good air circulation.
It's
Another one,
the same
yeah.
in Thailand.
Another one question before I ask you about the material. Is that mean when you import the material with the scale of that project? So that means you use a lot of that material, and that is worth enough for the importing from outside of your country.
That's a recommend from our clients. They have a connection. They have a business at China also. So easy for them to deliver it from China. Even they just need a small
amount.
That's great. Oh yeah, it's a small amount.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Then shall we go to the next?
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is from Singapore,
Yes.
Mr. Iskandar Idris.
Idris, yes, from Super Assembly.
Yeah.
Hello again. Excuse me.
Oh, sorry, I was mute. So I was
okay.
Okay. All right. So, So thank you to you guys for inviting us to be a speaker on this. So we, as mentioned earlier, I think we are a small team. We have, currently we are growing a little bit. So I haven't updated these photos, but actually there's two more of our colleagues that join us. So that makes the team about 10 packs. So 10 packs of architects, architectural graduates and interior designers that joining our team. So as a team, we are a small group, diverse, but kind of diverse and having different strengths. But we all have a common mindset, and as a team, we always try to kind of steer clear of like having any stylistic formula. So if you see some of our projects, they look very different from each other. I think it should be that way because we don't believe in having like a particular style or a kind of approach. So we kind of approach every project with an open-mindedness and always be inquisitive about every single project. And also, I think we feel that it is also very important to kind of always have the client involved in the whole design process and to make them feel that they are part of this collaboration team. Yeah. So for today, I will be sharing 3 projects. So they're all residential. But I'll start with this one. This is Window House, which was actually one of our first projects after starting out. So Window House
is the new build or is the renovated?
Oh yes, it's a new build. So the client wanted kind of a home where that allows for kind of like a large group of family gathering, and he wanted a house that have different quality of spaces everywhere and not just same feel. So he wanted like different a house that is flexible enough for different groups of people for having different kind of discussion and different groups of hanging out. So in this particular project, we were exploring how walls actually define boundaries, and then while openings in the walls actually have the ability to connect, to frame, and also blur those boundaries. So we were exploring this kind of spatial quality in this particular project. So the brief, so the brief, as mentioned from the client, was that he wanted to kind of like have different quality of spaces throughout the house. A house that when you enter, you cannot really tell in one look how the house can unfold. So we were kind of interested to kind of create spaces that were characterized by a series of openings. So, and then the space kind of reveal themselves as one walks across from space to space. Because, when you have this situation of openings aligning and misaligning as you walk, because, as you experience space in 3D, sometimes as you walk, certain openings kind of align, and then you are able to kind of see through a space beyond another space. So that was a kind of a strategy that we were kind of exploring in this particular project. So, and also the house has multi-level spaces. So, like it is not like every floor is not kind of level. I mean, like one space maybe a few steps lower, a few steps higher. So, and then when you have a situation where you have a skin with openings, it gives a more interesting dimension to the spaces. Like, and then the center of the house is a open courtyard, which kind of also acts as a kind of navigation. Wherever you are in the house, you will always have a view towards this internal courtyard, and it kind of gives a kind of reference point as you circulate and explore the house. Like, for example, in this photo, you are able to from this space look through the courtyard and then through another space when this opening kind of overlaps with this opening. Yeah, so these are photos to kind of illustrate this. We try to kind of create this rich spatial tapestry that allows for shifting perspectives and dynamic vistas.
How many story height for this project?
This is 2-story with an attic. Yeah. But of course, like I mentioned, because it is our stories are like, they're all kind of like staggered. So in Singapore, if you are in a 2-story with an attic zone, they have this shape, like this is the maximum size and height of the building. So you can do whatever you want in terms of levels, as long as the house kind of is occupied within this envelope. Yeah. Okay. So this is even in this is a photo of the playroom in the house. So even in the design of the custom play for this child, we kind of also took the idea of the quality of the space. Yeah. So I mean, this is a kind of a schematic model to kind of show how the main spaces are organized. So as mentioned, center to the house is the open courtyard, because if you don't have this kind of central reference, it can get a bit kind of like confusing, because it's almost like a maze if you like, because so this courtyard kind of helps you to kind of orientate where you are in the house. And then and then also because the idea of you want to kind of increase the spatial depth of like having to be able to look through spaces beyond spaces. So we introduce intentfully bright elements in the spaces so that your eyes are actually drawn to a space that is beyond. Like, for example, if you suddenly at a distance see a bright red staircase, so you kind of draws you towards that distant space through the opening.
And this staircase look more like an art piece in the space as well.
Yeah. So and then even in the design of the interior and the bathroom example, this is a bathroom. So we kind of like the idea that even the bathroom takes on this language of the spaces and looking beyond. Yeah. So in the choice of color, of course, we decided that green or the bathroom should take on a singular color so that it kind of draws you to that. And this is also even in this powder room where it was kind of interesting that like because of we had this sliver of long corridor and in normal circumstances a long corridor would be kind of a weird layout to do a bathroom, but I think we took this opportunity also to kind of introduce these arches to kind of compartment the powder room into like a frame in a frame, so kind of add that visual depth to the space, and also it's kind of in line with the idea of the design language of the house. And then this is and what made us interesting was that during our post completion visit to the client, like after a few months after the house was handed over to the client, we kind of like had a meeting with the client to see how everything was. And one of their response, which was particularly interesting, was that they said that after living in the house, they started to kind of notice nature or have a greater appreciation of nature, which is quite interesting because, I mean, while the house has, garden spaces, but it is not like in a house that is having a big garden or things like that. But I think because of the way that we actually frame the garden, even though we have a small garden, but the way that we frame it sort of like gives particular more attention to, because the fact that you frame a small piece of that garden. So the clients sort of become more aware of things, like he will tell me like, oh, I noticed that there's this bird that always comes to this particular spot at this timing, so it was quite interesting feedback that we got for this particular project. Okay, the next project is another house. It's also a new build. When we first visited the site, it was located, in Singapore, as you all know. I mean, we have very limited land size, and it's very crowded here in Singapore. So even if to have a landed house, I mean, that's pretty much a rarity. And to have a landed house with unobstructed views is even more rare. So most landed houses, you always see your neighbor, it's very crowded with your neighbors, and you probably see your neighbors surrounding all four vistas. But for this particular site, there was an opportunity because behind the site, there was, on one facing at the back, there is this military training area. So, I mean, the army kind of use it to kind of train. So, which is a good thing. So, meaning that you have at the back of the site a very nice green landscape, which is very rare in Singapore. So we felt that this was an opportunity, and we also noted that the direction of the facing of the building was also offered this opportunity. So in Blinker House, the idea was that we wanted to it's designed with a formal arrangement of 3 stacks of volume. So the lower volume served as kind of the public area, like the guest living spaces and the services. So the reason why we call it Blinker House was that, like the horse blinkers, we wanted to kind of create a house that is able to kind of eliminate distractions, view unwanted sightlines, and then to kind of just frame views of the natural garden, so that when you are in the house, you almost feel that you are in isolated, the house is in an isolated natural environment. So in the first story entrance, when you enter, you have the guests living kind of and having the garden to the side, and we kind of like use spaces, enclosed spaces, like things like services, things like isolated rooms like gyms, where to kind of use them to kind of block unwanted sightlines. And
is the indoor or out? Is that the indoor space for the living in the central?
Oh no, it is sheltered. It is indoor space. Yeah. And then this is the second floor. And then what we decided to do for this particular case was, usually your living room, your dining, the kitchen is always on the ground floor. But for this particular project, we decided to kind of raise the living area, dining, even the kitchen up to the second floor, so that you have a higher vantage point, so that you are able to kind of appreciate that garden view towards the back. And again, we use like programmatic spaces, like the movie room, kitchen. Because kitchen and movie rooms are very enclosed spaces, we kind of purposely put it in this location at the front to kind of block views of the neighbors around the side. So because the view is towards the back, so we kind of position the spaces such that it offers that moment of isolation towards the rear. And then of course, due to the north-south facing, because the monsoon is north-south, and then we always allow for a natural ventilation throughout the house. And then for the last floor, we decided to put, this is where we put all the private space. All the bedrooms are all at the third floor. Actually, this house is a multi-generation home. It has four generations of family living there. So from great-grandmother, grandmother, the parents, and the kids. So it's 4 generations living in one floor. We wanted everybody to kind of stay on the same floor, which is, I think, kind of nice to establish that bond. And for this particular case, we kind of arranged all the bedrooms around the perimeter so that they allow all the bedrooms are equitable, and then they have full height openings and windows. But in so doing, we also kind of introduce a screen that is operable to allow you to control the amount of privacy that you want. Yeah. This is a section model of the house. So on the center area is the living area and the dining, and what the lower portion is basically where the guests and the services are. So actually, after when the client moved into this house, they feedback that that they, after moving to the house, they never actually go down to the first floor, because they kind of spend most time on the second floor, because that's where it's almost like a new ground, like the base new ground level. The section across. So even the swimming pool, we kind of elevated it on the second floor, so that the swimming pool and the living room is on one level. So these are some photos from.
Do the users normally use the natural ventilation? I mean, do they normally open the window to get the natural ventilation when they use?
For this particular family, yes, they do. It depends on the families. So for this particular family, they rarely use aircon. They only use aircon at night when they're sleeping. So in the daytime, when they're hanging out in the living room, so they don't end on the aircon. So it becomes very useful. Okay, this is the view of the entrance. This is the view of the entrance, and usually you don't put the kitchen and blocky things in front, but in this particular case, because we wanted to block the view of the neighbors, so we kind of put the kitchen in front and things like the movie room, solid spaces in front. And this is actually these windows are actually behind here is actually the kitchen. So even with the openings, we kind of introduce deep setback windows, and with this so to kind of provide privacy, so that if, like, for example, this angle, you can't really see the spaces inside, because these kind of act as a mover. So this is the space on the elevated living room. So because it's an open plan, the first story is open plan, because we wanted to kind of accentuate the horizontality of the panorama at the back. So we wanted it to be an open plan, and we wanted to kind of have this corporate ceiling design, which kind of integrates lighting and the air conditioning all within the ceiling design, so that it offers a very clean, almost like a cave-like effect, like being surrounded by, and all this we focusing towards the view of the back. So when you enter, this is the kind of the spiral staircase that leads you up to the second floor, and this is from the second floor looking at the dining area. So on this area on the left is where the kitchen is, and so because we wanted to block the view of the neighbors at the front. This is I think a photo when it was we did a mock-up of the ceiling, and then we kind of explored we always do mock-ups, I think, because sometimes we as an office we always want to try something new that's never done before, or trying to kind of improve things. So I think mock-ups for us are quite important, because it's also to kind of test whether our ideas work on a smaller scale before implementing it on a large scale. Like here we were kind of exploring how you're gonna install the slots for the air conditioning to run, and then how are we gonna maintain it. So
what is the material? What is the material of the block?
So actually, if you notice, this material is actually GFRP. It's like a mold, GFRC is like glass reinforced plaster. So, and to kind of make it more efficient, because if you see on the plan, you notice that the dimension of each of these coffers is actually changing depending on the structure and things like that. But in the process of production, if I were to make a mold for each one of these, it would be very expensive. So what we came up with was that we only made a mold for the corner, like this junction here, because this junction, the cross is always the same. What is so then in between? So, like for example, this one. So we say this is longer. So in between, we add on this part. It's easier to kind of extend it. Yeah.
I see
So
it.
in this,
that's great.
So in this way, we just need to do kind of one mold, and then for this entire space to cut costs. Yeah. And this is a bit of detail. So we kind of studied like by curving the inside, so you have a more diffuse light. Yeah. So because if you can't tell from the photo, but actually the inside is curved. So that when we curve it, we realize it allows for a more, you can't see the outline. If it was flat, then you will see the edge. So yeah. And this is the view of the second floor. So this is the view at the back. It's very nice because it's the military training area. So it's always going to be like this green for some time. Yeah. And this is actually the view on the first floor, where the guest living area is. And then we kind of, when we first enter, we direct the view towards this side. These are some of the details. So because on the third floor, we kind of arranged the bedrooms all along the perimeter because we wanted all the bedrooms to have window. Then we realized that of course, then what results is that when you go up the staircase, the central corridor there's no window. So here in this particular case, we decided to kind of do a skylight, a kind of curved skylight to kind of bring it to light up this way.
This is a real skylight.
Yeah, it's a real skylight. It's a real skylight. It's a curve.
Because the second floor living the ceiling look really like the natural light.
Yeah, so this is actually the detail of the skylight. Yeah. So the skylight on the third floor is actually one is curving this way, one is curving this way. And then because also then we have to solve the issue of the ventilation as well, because having light, because it's gonna, all the rooms are kind of closed. So we also kind of conceal there's a mechanical ventilation also to kind of provide ventilation for this corridor space. So and then we conceal the exhaust also within this curve, so that at the end of this curve, at the edge here, if you notice, there's actually a little bit of a gap. So that's where the air gets sucked in from the curves here, and then will be exhausted out to the other side. Yeah. So we enjoy kind of resolving details like that, even from like, doing a simple detail, even like for our handrail that because we wanted to kind of have even a handrail respond to the design of the corporate ceiling, the angular. So we designed a triangular handrail, and then with even the metal fixing, and then or how to kind of mount. Oh yeah, and then also because if you notice, right, the wall texture on the second floor is actually consisting of tiles. It's actually like travertine look-alike tile. It's like very cheap tiles, but the tiles actually come in like normal size, which is about 600 by 300. But we wanted it, because we were also on a little bit of a budget, we couldn't afford to kind of use real travertine all along the exterior wall. So what we did was we got this cheap tile that looked like travertine. Under normal circumstances, architects wouldn't want to use it because don't want to use like a homogeneous tile that looks like a stone. So, but what we thought that we decided to do manipulate the tile by cutting it into smaller pieces, like actually into 3 sizes, and then after cutting it into small size, we kind of put them together in a kind of pattern in a kind of weaving pattern to create that interesting depth to the thing. And then when we look at it, it kind of like it goes well with the the colors are all the same, but it gives a bit of depth and texture to the whole facade.
How small for how the dimension for each pieces?
Maintain. As in maintain, sorry, how do you maintain
the tile, the big tile that you cut as the small pieces? How size of it? How is the size?
Oh, the size. Okay, there's 3 sizes. One is 100 by 100, and then 100 by 200.
Become like
actually, it just becomes like a mosaic. Yeah. These are some views from the bedrooms, and so the bedrooms having this view, and then having the screen so that it allows you some privacy when you want it. Here's the view of that swimming pool, and then the living area, towards the nice view at the back. Okay, the last house that this is our recently completed. It is actually just completed like few weeks ago, so we just photographed this. So for this particular house, it's quite interesting. And we call this house the Caven House because was inspired by the idea of formation and expensive spaces found in caves. So and then the aim was to kind of create a residence that allow a spatial, an immersive spatial experience. Because the owner is a very interesting client, where he wanted the children. There's a young family with 3 kids who wanted the house to be a place where it is creative, it is stimulating, and a space which is good for children to grow up and kind of have a family bond. So from the outside, the house doesn't have any window. Even the main entrance is concealed. And then because the house actually sits on on a slope, so the rear elevation is actually lower than the top. So if you see the section of the space is, we wanted to kind of create this voluminous space, a continuous voluminous space, so that in where you are within the common areas of the house, you have always a visual connection to everyone. So the idea was that the communal space, like the cafe, the dry kitchen, and the dining, and the versatile living room, were planned to encourage this visual connectivity and interaction. And then in contrast to the very austere white exterior, the inside is completely the opposite, where the clients wanted as much colors as possible. He wanted a very playful kind of environment for the children. So this is actually the rearmost area where you have the higher ceiling, and this is where the flexible living space is. And even the sofa are really light and kind of modular, that allows the space to always be changing. And this is the view at the first story entering. So when you first enter into their house, you kind of walk into a kind of a cafe, because the owner wanted a house to look like a cafe the moment you walk in. It's like, he doesn't want the living room to be like, and normally when you enter a house, there's always a living room setting, things. But for this particular case, it was quite interesting, because in this particular project, having an interesting brief allows us to kind of explore certain typology, which and this is the view of the study at the second floor. So if you are looking back up here, this is the view of this particular space. So the idea was that you always have kind of visual connection to kind of the whole family. That was the idea. So if you're looking, I'm standing at the planter here and looking back, 3 level of spaces that allows you to kind of always have this visual connectivity, which was, I think, very important for the family. And even we also kind of have this suspended play net that kind of from one of the kids' room that you can climb out, and then kind of have a lookout if you are standing, if you're at the living area, you're able to kind of see your kid play here. So kind of allows for that richness in the space. Yeah. And this is the attic, having a swimming pool and also kind of entertainment at the top floor. Okay, that's pretty much the end of my presentation. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. The presentation that passed, I have one question about the lighting for the second project. Have you done the lighting design by yourself, or you have any other party?
We kind of did it ourselves. I mean, we didn't have the luxury of having a lighting consultant. I mean, usually for small projects like houses, the clients don't want to spend that much money. So we sometimes have to kind of test whether, because sometimes we have to test and also work with the lighting supplier, because some of the lighting supplier are able to do a simulation to kind of see whether it's too much or too little.
It's not easy to do with the lighting. I know, because I tried one time to do the lighting even for the small project, but the effect is quite difficult from the design when we think. Better that have the mock-up test. Okay.
We can go further to the last one. For Mr. Fabian Tan from Fabian Akitek. Hello again. I'll give you the stage.
Okay, we'll just get right into it, because I'm the last one and everyone is hungry. So this time a bit.
Okay.
Thank you for having me to do this Zoom conference. I'll just get right into it. I think I've just introduced myself just now, that we are FDA, we specialize in residential spaces, but expanding to bigger projects. Quite excited about it. So I'll always like to start with this image of Casa Batlló in Barcelona. I always feel that this has been one of my architectural observations and also a guiding philosophy. So if you notice, this is a courtyard in Casa Batlló, and if you notice, the windows from the top to the bottom becomes bigger, and the tiles from the top to the bottom as well becomes from darker to lighter. Now there's a weird intention behind it by Gaudi, is that he wanted the light in each of the levels to be equal. Now, whether that makes sense or not is another question, but the actual intention of wanting to make that in a particular space and time is very special. So I've always tried to follow think that form, instead of form follows function, form should follow intention instead. So I'll be starting with the first house. I'll be kind of presenting 5 houses, but I'll try to go through them quickly. So the first house is Itka House, and this is just a typical terrace typology. I'm not sure whether it's the same in other countries, but in Malaysia, it's kind of like you have the ground floor, and which is the living areas, and the first floor, which is the bedrooms. And I just want you to notice this small little family area just above the staircase area, because that's the space that's left over to connect all the bedrooms together. So in this particular house, I was thinking instead, what happens if I reverse the typology of the architecture by putting the bedrooms on the ground floor, and the actual space that connects the bedrooms is a double volume. So hence it creates a kind of a voluminous space in essence. So the picture from the outside of the house may look like a very simple terrace house, but as you go inside the space, it almost seems as though like there's a mini house within a controlled environment of the outside, but it's still within the house. And we try to create that by using skylights to light up the entire house. It's just a view of the front from the rear looking towards the front. And the client had a very particular approach to it. He didn't want any curtains. It was a very private person. So that's what drove this intention to create a sort of controlled environment within the house. Towards the end of the house is a double-story door, which can be opened up for ventilation, and also open up fully whilst maintaining privacy, opening up to a courtyard, a very mini courtyard, bring in more ventilation and light. So this is just a connection from the first floor to the ground floor, and there's a little mini courtyard within it. So you are walking up a staircase, and you are when you come to the foot of the staircase, that's the dining area, and looking forward towards the living area. And beyond the living area, there is a rooftop garden, and to me, it kind of makes a lot of sense to put the living area in this position instead of the ground floor, because usually terrace houses in the ground floor, because of the lack of space, they usually face a car. So if you put the rooftop garden at the top, you are also you have that security feature, but you also have that privacy feature, and you also open up to a nice garden that's not bounded by grills or anything like that. So this is just a view of the study room towards the end there, looking into the double body. The living room looking back, and you can see the entire house is kind of lit up by a linear skylight and also square skylights. An interesting remark from the client was that actually he said that sometimes if he closed the entire terrace house, he could actually tell the time from the color of the architecture. So in this case, it was in the evening, and there was a bluish hue that was going through the space, so to tell the time through the color of the house, which is quite interesting. Okay, this is the next house, which is the Bola house. The Bola house is characterized, I'll just be talking about the living area, by a revolving door, or say a revolved door. Interestingly enough, this actual architecture used to be square in my initial designs, but in midway of the midway of construction, actually, I decided to present this design proposal to the client, and this is how I explained it. If you could imagine a circle that has 3 parts of 120 degrees to make up 360 degrees, and if you could actually overlap the 2 parts into 1 part, essentially you would have 240 degrees of open space. So essentially that opens up the space to be more than the periphery of your eye. So it's almost as though you are part of the outside already, almost, because the inside becomes part of the outside. And partially the main reason for that is for us to actually view out into the very mature umbrella trees that were existing on the site. This is just a view from the inside when it's closed. It is lined with timber, just timber strips, and also all the windows can be open for the simple intention of letting in ventilation. But there is also another reason of that for cleaning the windows as well. So this is just a view of the revolving door, the inside lighting up like a lantern at night. Yes, and then we'll be moving on to the next house, which is a Jose house. This is just quite a small project. It's a single-story house, and essentially it was inspired by the client's homage to his beloved grandmother, who always loved nature, always wanted to be very close to nature. So the house was designed around being close to nature. So if you can see, there are pockets of nature in the front of the house, in the center and the rear, and also at the top where the top garden is. So parts of the house weren't changed, but essentially they were revised and revamped. As you can see, the scale of the house still follows the neighboring lots. And I just want you to notice this photo because you can't really see the rooftop garden. And as you enter into the house is gutted out from the front right to the rear. So you would have your living, your dining, and your kitchen right up to the back of the house. So the house, this is the part of the house which has a slab, you would say, and then above this slab is used to be a water tank room. But so what we did was to use back the space to convert it into a loft, just a mini loft.
Do you add any of the floor level? Do you enlarge more for the floor level, or you use the existing area?
We use exactly the existing area because there was no need to extend the space. So yeah.
So you don't change. So you don't change any of the existing structure, right?
Yeah, the existing structure, we maintain the existing structure, but we built above the existing structure because of budget constraints.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, so this one also looks towards the back, and as you can see, there's a little garden courtyard at the back. It's a mini one. Usually people would have clothes and washing machines towards the back, but we wanted to create that courtyard and put all the utilities in this small little behind this sliding door on the left hand side, as you can see. This is just a view of the skylight. Although it's a very small opening, it brings a lot of light inside. I've always been very sensitive to light. So, and I feel that although we are in the tropics, we should always control the amount of light that comes because we are in the tropics, a tropical country. So this is just above the loft, looking down into the living area. And there's a series of staircases that you just walk up to on the left-hand side. As you turn around the corner, you walk up another series of staircases. On the right-hand side is the actual existing roof, which is just, we just changed the roof tiles. So as you reach towards the top, you are greeted by this rooftop deck. And if you notice, the glass skylight doubles up as the table for the actual rooftop hanging out space. And remember how you saw the image earlier where you could not see the rooftop deck? I think the client also wanted their privacy. So on the street level, when you actually look up from the street level, you can't see the rooftop deck. So if it was any higher, it would have seen. So that's how we control that vision. So this is just a photo of the house in full party mode. And recently, the client was complaining to me that he could see very far, but recently there was a house just two doors away that recently built up to 2 floors. So, but he always tells me whenever there's a negative, you can probably change it to a positive as well. So I learned a lot from there. Okay. I've got an issue with my slides. I can't move anymore. Just hold on. I think there's something wrong with the slides. It stopped at 52. I've still got some slides left. Should I try to revive those slides?
Or you can try to close the file. Or it's not the share screen file, right?
No, this is I'm presenting from. Let me try. Is it possible to share the screen instead?
You can try.
Okay. That's good. That is good. Let me try and upload again. So sorry, guys.
Yeah, Kuno, as I say, we have quite a different style of the project from our speaker. And since we have the very mega project about how to work and the process of work, and also about the house in different scale, and about the detail and the material, I think from Dhanie, they have the material research that's very interesting. And now it's the exploring about the house in small scale, and also the renovation project.
Yeah.
Now we back.
And yeah, from what I can see, of most of the Fabian's work, you try to also comply with the skylight in different shapes, and yeah, you also can combine with the functions above. That's really nice. Yeah,
And
as we
I
can
like
see.
that we can make use about the neighborhood wall to be the big screen. Okay,
Yeah.
Fabian, you can
Does it
continue.
working? Okay, I give that statement.
So give me a little. Maybe I'll just delete the slides and save it again, and then I can.
Is
load
this
it
the
up.
video actually? Or we come to this
No,
page?
no. It is yeah. I'll just save this one. Okay. I just
Alright.
deleted this.
Yeah.
Uh,
Seems you want to say something, Kunmo, about the before.
Actually, it's also related to Fabian's work that I appreciate a lot. With he can also combine the skylight with the function, the small function that is really cute, and as a table above at the rooftop floor, and that is really nice. That is really, instead of just using only the glass block or the glass panel as the rooftop skylight. Yeah.
And actually, Fabian, do you also do the furniture design as well, right?
yeah, we do sometimes, but not very often. It says here I can only load up two. As a guest, you can only load up to 2 slide decks, but I want to load it up now, but I can't. Okay. I'm so sorry, guys. Is it possible? Hold on now.
Let me on. Is your presentation controlled by Pineng, right? You
Producer.
Yeah, I just WhatsApp to you the presentation, so if you can load it up from there, it'd be good. To you, Lina, to your handphone.
Or maybe you can try to share your screen. Can you?
Okay, I'll try to share my screen.
Yeah. You tried before. It's not the full screen, but let's see how it works.
Okay. Okay. Can you guys see?
Not yet. Maybe it's a bit delay. Are you pressing the full screen now?
Yes, I'm pressing full screen.
In here is not the full screen. It still have the small size for the slide bar.
Yeah.
But I think we can talk. Can you larger for the presentation part? Can you make it larger?
I can view. I don't know. Wait. I can. Is this big enough?
No, actually not. But we can continue.
Go with it. Yeah, we can continue. I think.
Yeah, I think
All
we
right.
can continue.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just roll with it, guys. Sorry. So this is the next house, which is the billboard house, and the billboard house is essentially a semi-detached house. This is the photo of the existing house, and basically we did not really change much of the house. This is the plan of the house. So this is the actual plan of the house. As you can see, there's a pavilion that's attached to the house. So I think this photo is a little bit more clearer, where you see a semi-detached house on the left-hand side, which is the existing, and on the right-hand side is the actual house. And if you see the pavilion, it's kind of like parallel to the actual boundary line. And what that creates is a little break from the actual house itself. The most parts of the original house is maintained. So this is just that break. And I was inspired for the form of the actual house by my visits to the Mulu Caves, which is in Sarawak. It's a very large cave, but besides the largeness of the cave, the interesting part that really made me interested in the space was the actual non-differentiation between the elements of the architecture, which is you don't really see the floor or the walls and the ceiling. So I thought, what could be the closest shape to emulate that kind of feeling, and that was how I came up with the arch shape of the actual house, where you took the walls become the ceiling, and then it becomes the walls again. This is just some of the pictures. So this is just from the side of the as the pavilion is attached to the house. So this is just a very general cross section of the house. As you can see, there's a large timber door towards the end of the house, and there's multi-level platforms to create multi-level views and hierarchies to the actual space of the house. So this is just the door opening towards the house, and you can see the multi-levels. And this is the view from the inside looking out towards the outside, and as you can see from the scale, the doors open out into the garden to expand the space into the garden. And this is just a view, the scale, the person. And the actual door is made out of blackened timber, and it creates a very interesting texture when the light is refracted off it. As we move on towards the upstairs, you are greeted into this kind of like an open study area, and there is an inverted arch window, or like how my clients would say, the smiley window, because it looks like the smiley emoji. So as you look from the study room towards the end of the cave like structure, there is a certain sense of continuity, which is quite obvious from this image. If you can make out a certain S shape within it, so sense of continuity is apparent to expand the space. If you move towards the side onto the master bedroom, and as you go up from the master bedroom into the space, you come into this arch shape space, which is quite evocative and quite powerful. I just included this photo inside because I thought it was quite fun. Because one of my friends actually mentioned that it reminded him of a scary Thai movie. Also, another reference was like it looks like a scene that comes out from the movie Parasite, but I took it as common.
And what is the exact function for that space, or just relaxing area, or?
Yeah. It's just a balcony space for the clients to go out there, because the clients love to have a cigarette, so he sits up there and sometimes he pulls a chair and sits down there to have a cigarette.
All right.
So this is the last house I'll be presenting here. This is the Tessera house. It's our newly completed project, which is not yet been shown, and the lines are quite clean on the house, but the concept of the house is based on frames, and in this case, the framing of the actual entrance is apparent here. The space opens up into a sort of like an engawa, not engawa. Yeah, just crossed my mind. It's kind of like a porch, genkan, where there's kind of like a porch before you enter the house. And I just thought of this, having this weird idea of like how, imagine you're in a space, and I wanted to have a large picture frame. And in this case, if you notice the black panels with the slit line windows above, can become that picture frame. So what I actually thought was to have an actual sliding frame, so that when I converted it, I could actually be greeted with a picture frame of a nature and the sky. This expands the space and makes it really large in a way. The reason why I chose the black panels was due to I wanted that shift of the viewing very obvious. So this just view from the front, looking back towards the rear of the house, which faces a nice garden and pool.
May I know what kind of that material? Is the aluminum or is the metal? Is that the metal?
Oh, it's a metal frame. It's a metal panel, a frame. So maybe in the following photos you
First sight, I thought it's the curtain, but since it's open at the another view, it's the openable panel.
Yeah, it's openable panel. So this is just from the outside. As you can see, the black panel frame on the top, and also the house is framed by these almost like timber decks that activates the space in different sections of the house. So
It's actually people can jump from the terrace on the second floor. Is that the design intention?
No, you can't access to the top there.
All right.
Yeah, it would have been very interesting to do that. But yeah, the reason for doing the whole thing projecting outwards was to create a frame. So this is just a view looking back towards the kitchen area, open dry kitchen, and towards the side there, as you can see, there is also a family area with opening to garden. A view looking back into the house, and the staircase almost is part of the architecture's sculptural piece. Moving up towards the staircase, small views from the top into the picture frame, nature picture frame. And this is just a long corridor on the first floor, looking down the living spaces and also the connection to the bedrooms. And there is also a staircase that leads up to a rooftop garden. Sorry, not rooftop garden. There's a rooftop deck that you can view the surroundings of the neighborhood. So this is just in evening from back, viewing toward from it being closed, and this is just the evening view of the inside space. And with that, I will just run through this because this is on the slides. They didn't make the cut, but I'm just showing it to you.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you.
And just like that, Thongchad, terima kasih, and thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
When I look at the last project from you, I'm thinking that this might be the most simple project from all of your presentation. But when look at the space inside, nothing just simple, because you create the house more like I think more like installation, and most of them more like the art space.
Yeah.
It's actually,
Thank you.
how can you convince the client? Because it can be happen in the commercial or in the cafe or the public building to have this style, especially the curved one, the round sliding panel for the living room. It's quite hard to convince the client to get the space like this.
Actually, if you want me to be very honest with that story, it's a very interesting story for that the revolving door. Actually, the clients are very conservative. So
yeah, I see another part, maybe like the house next to that conservative.
Because I sort of traded. I sort of told the client, if you notice, I only showed pictures of the revolving door. Basically, I had to have a negotiation with the client where I said to them, like, you gotta let me have this idea, but the rest of the spaces, I'll give you anything you want. So that's
Okay, like a negotiation.
kind of like it's a negotiation exchange, I guess.
Lovely client.
I think it was because it was such a radical idea, and I think the first question the client asked me for that was, has it been done before? And of course I told them no, it hasn't been done before. So and it even took me the extent of to convince them was we actually went to a nearby basketball court, shoot away some of the kids, and took a white chalk with a piece of string and drew the short circle in the basketball court, and I showed them like, oh, this is where it's gonna be, this is the living space, this is gonna work, and everything. So yeah, it took me quite a while to convince them.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we have to start about, because there is some question from the audience and some question that need to ask you guys. Even we already asked some during the talk already, but I think there is a question from the audience about. Let me start first, Nanongmo. What kind of the assistant have your professional association done to support the young architects in your country, and what kind of the assistant do you need? I mean, in terms of the Institute of Architecture in your country, any support from them, and anything you need to have the help from them in terms of the career or about the architectural practice. This question will be lead to the last time that we have the talk on site in ASA Association event. Yeah, so maybe I ask P. Thongchad about this question.
Yes. For myself, I think as a support the young architect about the knowledge is thing like the material, publisher for material, and the regulation in the ASA website. The online channel is consists of many of useful content, like they will update the regulation for the building.
Regulation help a lot in the ASA website.
And then release the new one. So this thing can be make the equality about the architect, about the governor. It will be the same source, and the same source make it not misunderstanding about same topic.
Yeah. So everyone know the update information.
Yeah. I think this point our organization is support very good, done well.
Yeah. How is in Singapore?
So for in Singapore, the Singapore Institute of Architects, again, I think one of the major key thing, like I think similar to in ASA as well, is about education and training programs. So we also kind of offer like comprehensive education and training to the needs of the young architects, and also we even those who are not yet kind of registered architects, like you need to sit for the exam. So they also kind of provide that platform for you to prepare themselves to be a registered architect in Singapore. So that is one, and then also we need to always kind of as architect enhance our skills and keep abreast with latest industry knowledge and trends. And so I think the role of SIA is as well to kind of promote that, the idea of continual learning. And also aside from education, is also about career guidance. Like for example, career guidance for those who networking opportunities as well, and for those operating a small architecture firms. So SIA also kind of help in, let's say, organizing opportunities for you to kind of network and get yourself out there, through overseas trips to maybe other countries or things like that, to kind of introduce the capabilities of the small SMEs to the region. Another thing is also in terms of representation and advocacy, like for example, if you need advice, if you have a problem, let's say example, you got a situation that you face, let's say with difficult client, or you want kind of advice into what to do, then SIA also kind of provide that avenues to do that. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
That's really nice. Yeah.
Okay. And how is in Malaysia?
I think everybody sort of covered in terms of education and training and everything. So I think PAM also supports a lot of young architecture through education and also through having a system. It's called like CPD points, where every architect has to be able to achieve CPD points through attending seminars, events, and also so that they're always in the know and in the what. So, and also PAM also celebrated 100 years last year. So they included many events for young architects to come together, to network, and also to create a more stronger bond among the members of our fraternity, I guess. Yeah.
And what about in Indonesia, Dhanie?
In Indonesia, I think with this kind of event which connect young architects to a broader network, it's a good thing, and I think institutions IAI, in Indonesia, should play a more active role in educating the public in general regarding the profession and about the importance of the role of architect in our society, especially in developing country. This is important to socialize the institute from a neutral party, because with the current state of social media, it can easily be abused or misused by the wrong hand, and maybe it happened in another profession in Indonesia. I also think that institutes should be more aware and adaptive to the current development, and more inclusive for young architect and young practice, I think, for another advice for the EIE.
Okay, that's good. Okay, we go quickly to the next one. It's actually quite pretty the same as the one I will ask. The one question from the audience is like, what makes the kind of like, what is the idea come from to make the amazing work, even the scale of the project is small, which is I think quite similar to the one that we prepared together already. That in your opinion, what are the indicators of a successful project and how the ideas come from? Okay, we can start with
maybe I want to ask Fabian that, because
Fabian look at the guy's face and who is ready. Sorry, it takes some time.
It's like his work more like an art, and normally before everything starts, he will have like a reference or inspiration image. I really want to know, is that the real or just for the presentation, or how normally you initiate your idea about this?
Actually, that's a very, very difficult question to answer, but sometimes we try to. I mean, it's not a question of originality anymore, because in the social media days nowadays, we flooded with images and things like that. So even in our practice now, we've limited our exposure to a lot of social media and to seeing too much things. So we start off with a certain intention or an idea, but finding that intention takes quite a long time. But when it does come, it sometimes through the midway of the construction stage, I hope not to do that again. But yeah, if it does come, it's a blessing. I guess for many architects, it's just my way of expression, and I try to do it in the most creative and original way, based on an intention. I'm curious to hear about Iskandar.
I also
Dhanie.
think of his work. Yeah. What about your work?
Well, I mean, I would say for me, when at the end of the day, right, the client feels that from our intervention and what we have done, that we have placed them in a better position than they could have ever imagined. Like, for example, I mean, it's basically like about client satisfaction, right? But beyond that, I mean, sometimes clients come to you and they think that they have a they have a brief, and they have sometimes an imagined image of what they want. But that's why in my first client meeting with clients, usually I tell them is to kind of tell me the brief in terms of function, or kind of like a functional approach, rather than telling me I want a house that the living room is on the second floor, this is here, this is there. So because I always tell them that, that let us be the one, because you go to a consultant, I mean, let us be the one who solve the problems for you. But, tell us so sometimes what gives us joy is that when we produce a solution that they never imagined, but sometimes what can be interesting is that you come to us initially and say that I think this is our problem, we need, this is what we want. But sometimes after a few rounds of discussion, is like it ends up that perhaps this is not what you need. Maybe the solution is something else completely, something that they didn't even consider or kind of approach. So I think that as a creative, a professional, right? I mean, I think it will be interesting to kind of find a solution which is really out of the box, and kind of really to kind of reconsider the whole situation in a completely different framework altogether, and sometimes that will result in something different.
It's actually like we play around with the requirement to find the solution together, maybe with the context, or maybe with the activity of the user.
I'm not sure whether you guys experienced this before, but sometimes also we get clients coming to us and going and shoving their handphones in our faces and going like,
yes,
I want something
this
like
is what
this
we want.
Yeah. This is maybe the first requirement from client.
The first 5 minutes of request, I want this.
I want this.
Yeah.
And I want to put this room in this floor level, or this kind of thing. That's why we need
this, and I want this, and this, and I want you to combine it all together.
Very, very often happen indeed. Yes. So that's why in my first meeting, usually I say, don't show me pictures, just talk to me and just tell me the brief through words and text.
I think because architecture need to deal with the information, not only the aesthetic. So that's why the most important for me about the work, I think it also for you guys is about the requirement, to understand the requirement, and then we have time to deal with the design after we quite clear for the requirement.
Sometimes what I tell clients as well is like, when you go to a doctor and then you tell a doctor that I today I vomited, I got this symptom, therefore I think I got flu, give me flu medicine. You don't do that, right? I mean, with a doctor,
you don't do that.
You don't get the flu.
We have to go through the diagnosis and the whole process, and then to kind of see really what is the problem and what do you really need.
I want to get some client for us to sit in here. understand about this. Okay, we move to another question about. We might not be able to ask everyone about the question. Maybe I just pick some that I want to know, and if the audience want to listen from anyone, you can type in the comment. I want to ask about about the teamwork. How do you manage and develop the teamwork? This one I want to know from Thongchad about, because you have your work is about the technical and the method, and how do you improve and develop your teamwork to grow up every day and every year?
Yeah. Okay. It's quite a hard question, but we start from the learning of the organization behavior first. So in my office, the generation of the people is around average around 27 or 26 years old. It's a young.
Not the new graduated. You don't have the new.
3% per year. 3% or 2% per year that to my office, but to study them first, study them about all of things. The food that they eat, the hobby,
Feed them.
activity.
But
Yes.
feed.
Sometimes it's like the miracle thing. When the girl or the women work together and sit nearby, they may have the men's too in the same day. Something it's like it's something like this. You may know about this, and you start to learn more about them and develop the organization. Follow than that. For my side, I focusing on the activity, focusing on what they love, what they like, and maintain and treat them. And sometimes we know about the how many hours that they work per each week, and it's too hard for them. We adjusting something, it maybe maintain them in the good way. I think something like this. Observe from the organization behavior first, and then start to treat in and find the solution. Sometimes it's about the little bit thing. It's about the chair that they sit. It's about the traffic in the morning. Sometimes they're very serious day because the traffic is very bad. Something like this. Sometimes if we know something like this in every day, we can choose the way to talk or to do something together. Okay, let's take it easy. So it's like the basic thing to manage in every day. And when you manage today to be the good day, tomorrow we will have the good basic from yesterday, and then next year I believe it. The quality of the staff life is will better in every day. Something like this. Start from the person. Start from the little thing. But I didn't beat the sample of this ecosystem. Some person can be managed better than me, but I think everyone will talk in same pace. Okay, let's start from the basic thing, from the behavior.
Anyone want to add or share about this, about the developing and manage the teamwork system?
I think for my case in our office, what we try to do is that we try to kind of have a sharing session every once every 2 weeks, where we kind of share topics that interest us. Things like maybe it doesn't have to be exactly architecture. It could be some other creative field which it could be related, and that kind of interest that somebody has interest in. Like for example, it could be like model making using clay making. It could be like talking about films and how subsequently there's always avenues where things to learn from a particular skill or another faculty of arts where it kind of affects our perspective on architecture as well. So I mean that's one. And we also, as a team, we always have team lunches together. It's always like we always have lunch together. We make it a point. So during the lunch, we kind of aware of when we have the chat, in a relaxed environment. If you have problems, then it's easy to kind of have that build that cohesive, close bonding between the colleagues. Yeah.
Also about the office outing.
Yes. We do it to in our office. We initiate a project visit for the whole team, so everyone can evaluate and learn from each project. And we also regularly do a sharing session and workshop, to upgrading their skill and their knowledge. We can learn from anything, from anybody. We can talk to the workers. We can sharing with them, or maybe watch some movie, or they're reading a book and then they present what they think about the book. We can always get knowledge from anywhere, because I think it's architecture is not about an architecture only. It's about socio-economic, cultural, and human, I think.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Nizai, do you want to ask any more questions, or we can?
Yeah, I think almost the time.
I think it's okay. Not bothering your time so much. And thank you so much, everyone, for the wonderful and inspiring talk. I get a lot of knowledge in the experience you share to us today. That's really
fun. It's very fun job for me. Yeah, very fun and very exciting. All of the speaker and all of your work and the service and the company very interesting and open my eye also about how the small or not much small, the medium scale of the architectural office in different country running and how to manage and train the teamwork. Very fun. Yeah. Okay, I think it's time already. And already say thank you. And I think next week, not next week, we still have another talk for the online talk that we will have another 4 speaker from these 4 countries. We see all of us again, and you guys can come and as an audience to ask
the questions also and discuss on the panel. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you.
Bye.